The small town of Willowbrook had always whispered of the haunted house that stood ominously at the end of Elm Street. Stories of eerie lights, ghostly apparitions, and strange sounds had circulated for decades. Most residents knew better than to approach it, but Officer James Mitchell was not like most residents. He was a seasoned police officer, skeptical of the supernatural, and determined to put an end to the rumors once and for all. One moonless night, Officer Mitchell decided to investigate the haunted house down the street. Armed with a flashlight, a walkie-talkie, and his service revolver, he stepped cautiously onto the overgrown path leading to the dilapidated mansion. The air grew colder as he approached, and the rustling leaves seemed to whisper warnings in the wind. The front door creaked open with an eerie groan, as if inviting him inside. Mitchell hesitated for a moment, then squared his shoulders and stepped into the dark and foreboding entryway. Cobwebs clung to his uniform, and the air was heavy with the scent of decay. As he ventured deeper into the house, his flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper. It was then that he heard a faint, haunting melody, a piano playing somewhere deep within the house. Every nerve in his body screamed at him to turn back, but he pressed on, determined to debunk the legends once and for all. The music led him to a grand, dust-covered ballroom, where an old, out-of-tune piano sat in the center. The keys played themselves, a haunting tune that chilled Mitchell to his bones. He couldn't believe his eyes. There, sitting at the piano, was a young girl with long, ebony hair and a pale, ethereal glow about her. She wore a tattered, lace-trimmed dress that seemed straight out of a bygone era. Mitchell called out to her, but she did not respond. Instead, she continued to play the haunting melody with an otherworldly grace. Her face was ghostly white, and her eyes, devoid of life, stared blankly ahead. It was then that Mitchell noticed the faded photograph on the piano's lid. It depicted the same girl, the same dress, and the same lifeless eyes. With trembling hands, Mitchell cautiously approached the girl. He reached out to touch her shoulder, but his hand passed right through her. Panic surged through him as he stumbled backward. This was no ordinary girl. She was a ghost, a specter from the past. Suddenly, the room filled with the echoing whispers of countless voices, a chorus of souls trapped in the house's malevolent grip. The walls seemed to close in on him, and the temperature plummeted, freezing the very marrow of his bones. He knew he had to escape, but the ghostly girl continued to play her mournful tune, her gaze fixed on the photograph. With all the strength he could muster, Mitchell sprinted for the exit, not daring to look back. As he burst out of the haunted house and into the moonlit night, the door slammed shut behind him with a deafening crash. He never returned to Elm Street, and he never spoke of what he had seen. The haunted house down the street continued to stand as a dark and sinister testament to the supernatural forces that lingered within its walls. The legends persisted, and the townsfolk, more superstitious than ever, avoided it at all costs. Officer James Mitchell's encounter was a chilling reminder that some mysteries were best left unsolved, and some horrors were best left undisturbed in the realm of the unknown.